Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History. My name is Jonathan Webb, and I'm the president and CEO here at the Castle Museum and the Historical Society of Saginaw County. And I'd like to welcome you to the annual meeting for 2022, where we take a look back and review all the accomplishments of the staff here in 2021 and take a little sneak preview of what we've got planned for you in 2022. So thank you again for joining us, and at this time, I would like to introduce you to Brian Konechka, who's the chairman of the Board of Directors for the Historical Society of Saginaw County.
Hello everyone, I'm Brian Konechka, Board Chair of the Historical Society of Saginaw County. Have you ever heard the phrase, been there, done that? You know, when folks talk about when they've been to a certain place or experience and they just say, I've been there, I've done that. I hope that when you think of the Castle Museum of Saginaw County, your response isn't been there, done that, but been there, visit again. Here's one reason why. The second floor has undergone a wonderful update with new exhibits featuring products that have been made in Saginaw. The once closed off Victorian room is now open to visitors, having been completely refreshed, showing off a variety of furniture and other artifacts, all made right here in Saginaw. Also upstairs, the exhibit features a variety of examples of the ingenuity of the people of Saginaw and their attempt to reshape industry in our area. While 2021 brought with it many challenges as we continued to deal with the effects of COVID-19 in our community, the ever-talented staff and volunteers kept the museum running smoothly, reimagined exhibits up here on the second floor, and they continued to embrace digital media using Facebook. Every visit to the Castle Museum provides something new, and you learn something new that you didn't know previously. There's always something new to discover as you explore the stories of Saginaw County. And I encourage you to visit soon.
Thank you, Brian. You know, we couldn't accomplish all the wonderful things that we do here at the Castle Museum to preserve the history of Saginaw County without wonderful teamwork from our staff and volunteers. So at this time, I'm going to take this opportunity to have key members of the staff introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about their area of expertise. And we're going to lead off with the financial report from Ashley. Ashley, take it away.
Hi, I'm Ashley Zender, and I'm the Office and Accounting Manager here at the Castle Museum. It's my job to take care of all of our finances, our bookkeeping, all of our records, make sure our bills are paid, just keep us up and running. We finished 2021 fiscally sound. We were significantly over our forecasted revenue and under on forecasted expenses, resulting in finishing the year in the black. We continue to monitor our expenses closely, regularly review interest rates, seek out grants to assist with operational and project costs, and research cost-efficient products and solutions that won't sacrifice quality or jeopardize our mission.
Thank you, Ashley, and thank you for all the hard work you did this year in managing all of our financial needs and keeping the books accurately, managing payroll, and all the other things that you did on a daily basis to keep the office running smoothly. As Ashley mentioned, we had a really solid year financially. Each year before the year starts, we do basically what we call a zero balance budget, and that makes sure that our budgeted expenses will never exceed our budgeted revenues. I'm really proud to say, as we have managed each year since I've been here as the president and CEO, that our revenues exceeded what we had budgeted. So we did better in the revenue area, and that was through just hard work with fundraising and grant writing, making sure that we're presenting opportunities for the public to use the building, things of that nature, while simultaneously we finished below what we had budgeted for expenses. And again, that's a team effort from top to bottom here with the staff. So we have managed to bring in top-notch traveling exhibits. We have made sure that our staff is fairly compensated. We have managed to take care of our incredibly valuable collection and the building itself. All those things cost money, and we've managed to do that in a way that we have finished below our budgeted expenses. So the net result of that is, again, finishing solidly in the black. And so I want to thank again the staff who are all involved in that. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to our next staff member, and that is our Vice President and Chief Historian, Tom Trombley. Tom?
Hello, this is Tom Trombley, Vice President and Chief Historian at the Castle Museum. And I'm sitting on the corner of Fayette and Cleveland in the Pit and Balcony Barn on May 13th, 1937. Oh, excuse me. I'm actually speaking to you from our Pit and Balcony exhibit, which is currently at the Castle Museum and opened last September. 2022 has been an exciting, challenging year, but really one of great accomplishments for the museum. And I really love being able to connect the dots in Saginaw's history, help preserve it, and really help to share it with the community. And I know it's a passion that you all share with me. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you at the museum or at the show during 2023 and the years that follow.
Thanks, Tom. I think Tom was off a year. He was talking about 2022 and 2023. Well, what's a year anyway, right? It's not like he's the chief historian or something. Oh, wait, he is. No, just kidding you, Tom. As all of you who know Tom, and for those that don't, Tom is actually the go-to source for historic facts here for our entire staff and for much of the community. Tom works incredibly long hours here at the Castle Museum and throughout the community, researching everything that basically we do here as far as exhibits and programming go. He's a resource that is absolutely invaluable to us, and we so appreciate all the wonderful things you've done for our work here at the Castle Museum, Tom, and then all the things that you do for the other organizations in our community that you work so hard for. In one of the areas that I mentioned that Tom is involved in is the creation of exhibits. And to talk a little bit further about our exhibits department is our exhibits coordinator, the very talented Mr. Jeff Pelkey. Jeff.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Pelkey, the exhibits coordinator here for the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History. Our focus this year was centered on improving our in-house capabilities of producing exhibits focused on telling the story of the people of Saginaw County. New and improved ways of producing graphics in-house and enlarging historical images are two of the advancements that we put to use in our current exhibit, A Wider View of Saginaw, the Panoramic Views of the Goodrich Brothers.
Thanks, Jeff. Done a nice job for us this year as our exhibits coordinator. We're really fortunate to have Jeff. He's an artist at heart. As a matter of fact, I challenged him this year to think about making exhibits more from the creative, artistic side of his brain rather than the logic, historical side of his brain that most of us use here every day. And he did a fantastic job with that, and I think the results speak for themselves, and I hope you'll come and see that with our newly reopened Made in Saginaw exhibit up here on the second floor, and as well as the temporary exhibits that we have here, including the one that Jeff filmed his segment in, A Wider View, the panoramic photos of the Goodrich brothers. In addition to those exhibits that I just mentioned, there was a whole plethora of other temporary exhibits that we featured here at the Castle Museum in 2021, and I'm going to read that list off because I won't be able to remember them all off the top of my head. Those included stories of Saginaw's silver screens, which discussed movie theaters in Saginaw County, and that was partially curated by one of our front desk people, Barry Reindage. Nice job on that, Barry. Thank you so much for all the hard work and research you did on that. As we've talked about a couple different times, and probably will later in this video, we hosted the Smithsonian's Play Ball from the barrios to the big leagues, and that was a study of Latino culture and its influence on baseball, and baseball's influence on Latino culture. An absolutely fantastically put together exhibit by the Smithsonian, and it was such a treat and an honor and so educational for our staff to have an opportunity to work hand in hand with those Smithsonian folks on that exhibit. And when it was all packed up and moving on to its next venue, they actually told us, you know, you guys have set the bar so high with the programming that you did, including reaching out to local Latino baseball players in our community and those that had wonderful stories relating to that that they could share with us. So we're really, really proud of that. And we also did our own local component that was baseball centered, and even brought the Detroit Tigers in, and they loaned us artifacts belonging to key Latino players in the Detroit Tigers history. So it was really a fantastic thing, and we're so proud of that. Other temporary exhibits that we did included Jacobson's textiles and the Saginaw Children's Zoo carousel, and that's actually in place in our lobby right now. It's a replica, it's super neat, hand carved, beautifully done. We continue with our Artifact of the Month, which just rotated unique artifacts from our collection that we might not have enough to do a full-blown exhibit on, but it's a really interesting story and an interesting artifact. So we change those out regularly. We did Break a Leg, celebrating 90-year seasons of Pit and Balcony, and that's Tom discussed that a little bit. Schaefer Hat Store, Arthur Hill High School, and a Wax Flowers exhibit, plus others. That was just some of the highlights. In addition to that, and the Made in Saginaw exhibit that I already mentioned, we did a reinstallation of our Saginaw cycle car in the main lobby, and a reinstallation in addition to our 9/11 exhibit. A major part of any exhibit that we put together here at the Castle Museum is utilizing items from our own collection. The collection of these artifacts, the documenting of them in our software system, and the storage and preservation of them is an extremely important part of our mission. This allows researchers in the future to come back and take a look at these items and learn about their fascinating histories and how they relate to the current day. In charge of that part of our operation is our Chief Curator, Sandy Schwann, and our Registrar, Mr. Jeff Cottrell. And I've asked them to speak with you next. Guys?
Hi, I'm Sandy Schwann, Chief Curator here at the Castle Museum. In 2021, we made a number of improvements to our storage areas over at the Castle Museum Annex. We wanted to better utilize our space as well as to better store our collections and preserve them for long term. Behind me, you will see pallet shelving for some of our larger artifacts, as well as cabinets for our smaller and more fragile objects. We also began installing more brighter and energy efficient LED lighting, which was really greatly improved how we care for our artifacts over here at the Annex. In 2022, we're really excited about two new projects. One, we will begin refurbishing the Anishinaabe Gallery over at the Castle Museum, and we will also be kicking off a 4-year countywide photographic project. Please look for more information to come in the near future. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jeff Cottrell, Registrar for the Historical Society of Saginaw County. One of the big projects I worked on this year was right here in Collection Room 3. We decided it was time to do a complete inventory of the entire collection that the Castle Museum has. So we started out here in the Annex basement in Collection Room 3. Only 4 more rooms to go to finish up the basement. As many of you know, I'm also the curator of the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame. This year we had a great year. We were finally able to induct our class of 2020 after the pandemic postponed our induction banquet. We partnered with the Castle Museum on a traveling Smithsonian exhibit called From the Barrios to the Big League. The Castle utilized our collection in the local component. We changed over our entire Sports Hall of Fame exhibit this year. And we're also hoping to partner with the Castle on another exhibit this fall.
Thank you, Sandy and Jeff, for all the hard work you both put in managing and safekeeping our invaluable collection of artifacts here at the Castle Museum. As Jeff alluded to, he serves on the board for the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame and is their chief curator. That is a really neat relationship we have with that organization. They are actually a totally separate entity, but they have their own museum within the confines here of the Castle Museum. And that's been a really nice relationship. It allows us to bring in a whole different audience into our museum and gives them an opportunity to showcase all these really fascinating artifacts they have relating to Saginaw County sports history without having to pay for a staff or a building in order to display them in. So a really mutually beneficial experience for both of us. And the president of the Saginaw County Sports Hall of Fame, County Commissioner Jack Taney, now serves on our board of directors as well. So again, just kind of close collaboration between our two entities, and it's really been a nice relationship. So proud to have them as part of our operation. Next, I would like to introduce you to a really unique thing that we have at our museum, which is a Department of Archaeology, and our archaeology curator, Mr. Jeff Summer. Jeff?
Hi everyone, I'm Jeff Summer. I'm the curator of archaeology here at the Castle Museum. And I'm giving you a behind the scenes look at a part of the museum you probably haven't seen before. This is the archaeological repository. This is the part of the museum where all of the archaeological collections that aren't currently on display are permanently stored. And over the years, as new collections have been donated to the Castle Museum, or as we've expanded our archaeological collections through our ongoing field work, we sort of started running out of space in the repository. And so one of the exciting things we accomplished in 2021 was to do some renovations and greatly expand the usable storage space for the archaeological collections. And we did that by tearing down a temporary wall of the previous repository and installing some new shelving. And so now we've got a suitable place for the archaeological collections that'll keep us going for years to come. So we had a wonderful 2021. I hope you all have a great 2022, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Jeff, for all of your hard work this year. I know you've overcome a lot of obstacles and personal trials and tribulations, and the whole Castle Museum family we've got your back, and we love you, and we know you're going to do great things for us going forward in 2022. Many of you may recognize Jeff. He was the subject of several of our videos that were on our Facebook site, especially over the summer when he's out on site doing archaeological digs. As a matter of fact, we refer to Jeff Summer as the rock star, which I guess is kind of a really bad archaeology pun, you know, rocks, archaeology, rock star, I don't know. Anyway, speaking of rocks, this building that we call home, the Castle Museum, is made up of some really large rocks, Indiana limestone to be exact. And the guy that's in charge of maintaining all of our structural issues and addressing them and fixing them is Wayne Grenia, our grounds and maintenance supervisor. And his title technically is grounds and maintenance, but he does so much more than that. Wayne is quite a talented woodworker, and we have put him to use in the construction of exhibits and just things that we need here to keep the office going. And we have yet to find a project or a challenge for him that he has not been able to figure out and build for us. So with that, on that note, let's go down to the basement and the wood shop and see if we can find Wayne.
Hello everyone, my name is Wayne Grenia. I do all the maintenance here at the Castle Museum. This is my workshop here. This is part of the exhibits I'm building right now, and I do a lot of them as well. And that's my job title. I do snow removal, lawn work. I mean, it's a great job to have here at the castle.
Thank you, Wayne, for taking such great care of this magnificent gem of a building. Probably the most valuable artifact in our entire collection, the Castle Museum itself. Nicely done. You know, an important part of our mission, as we've talked about, is the preservation of our history, but equally important to that is the presentation or sharing of that history. So when we had our former marketing director, Jacqueline Leach, accept another position. And by the way, Jacqueline, we miss you and really enjoyed the work that you did for us here at the Castle Museum, and we wish you the best of luck. But when Jacqueline left to accept a position at a large marketing firm, we kind of decided that we should potentially reimagine the way we were marketing ourselves, as well as combining that with our education department and really calling it an outreach department. And so to kind of lead that charge, we were very fortunate to land Dr. Jennifer Vanette, and she is our new outreach coordinator, which was, again, that new position that we created that will oversee kind of the combination of education and marketing. Working with her is Christy Furtaw, who is the education coordinator, and Erica Massey, who is our new marketing coordinator. So with no further ado, I would like to turn it over to these three very talented ladies.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Vanette, and I am your new outreach coordinator. My job is everything to do with community engagement, whether that's visitors to the museum, our digital online spaces, or programs out in the community. My goals this year are to build on the foundation of our popular programs like Lunch and Learn and add creative new engagements.
Hi, I'm Christy Furtaw, the Education Coordinator here at the Castle Museum. One highlight from 2021 was I got to go back into the classrooms teaching lessons on archaeology. In 2022, my hope is to go into more classrooms and teach more students.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica Massey and I'm the new marketing coordinator for the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History. I bring to the position a background in digital marketing, so I'm truly excited about continuing some efforts that were put in place before me, as well as developing and implementing new strategies to promote the museum's goals. Really excited to be here and can't wait to see what happens. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, Jen, Christy, and Erica. Now I'd like to pay tribute and thank another group that's extremely important to the success of our organization, and that's the folks working at the front desk. Barry Reindage, Deanna Coleman, and Janine Shading. So when you visit the museum, or even if you just call on the phone, generally the first person that you're gonna come in contact with is one of those three folks. And they have gone above and beyond to make everyone feel welcome, answer any questions that guests may have, whether it's information about navigating the museum, museum hours, whatever it might be, as well as just general information about Saginaw and even communities outside of Saginaw. So thank you guys for all that you do, and we so appreciate you being the face of the organization to our guests. And another person I want to acknowledge who doesn't like to go on camera, but really has a crucial part of our operation is our custodian, Barb Dewey. And Barb's been with us a very long time, and she works extremely hard as the custodian to keep this museum absolutely beautiful and gleaming every single day. And Barb, thank you even more for the above and beyond extra work you did, the last 2 years, really during the pandemic, and just doing the extra sanitizing and all the things that were done to help keep this museum safe for our guests and for our employees. So really appreciate that, everybody. At this time, I'd like to bring back our board chairman, Mr. Brian Konechka, to talk about some folks that have been extremely important in the success of the Castle Museum and the Historical Society of Saginaw County over the last years. Brian?
Over the last couple of years, we've had several members of the board at the Historical Society of Saginaw County retire from the board. We'd like to take a moment for you to hear in their words a reflection of their time served on the board.
Well, good morning. My name is Larry Toft, and it's been a privilege for me to serve on the board of directors for the past 12 years. And during this time, I authored several books. One was on historic Saginaw Township, and the other is Downtown Saginaw, Heart of a Historic City. So I really grew up in Saginaw, and as a boy I would come downtown to pay my Saginaw newspaper bill every Saturday, and then I got a chance to discover the city as a youngster. In 1960 I worked at the federal building in the mail room, and here 60 years later I am retiring from the board of directors, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. Saginaw Federal Building is really interesting that at one time in the history of our country there were only two cities that had federal post offices, had two federal post offices. One was New York City and the other was Saginaw, Michigan. And there's a lot of history in Saginaw, beginning with the lumbering era, where Saginaw was the lumber capital of the world, and then the development of the city and the swamp. But in my book that I wrote, which is entitled Downtown Saginaw, Heart of a Historic City, it was illustrated by Elizabeth Nagle, who played an enormous role in this production of this book. Very artistic, and the illustrations are beautiful. But what has emerged for me is the fact that here we have a federal post office that was a place of employment and has emerged into a cultural historical center today where this rich history is being lived and taught in the schools, in the community, and all the research that has gone on in developing this story. So for me, it's been a rare privilege. And behind me is a mural that I love of downtown Saginaw. Here we have the Sears building. Over here we have the Castle Museum, where we're recording from today, and the layout of Genesee and the whole community. It's really a very beautiful mural of downtown Saginaw. So again, thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to hearing more good reports about the work that is being done here.
Hi, I'm Ken Willman. I've served on the board for 15 years. Really enjoyed it. Felt a big honor to be chosen to be on the board. Basically, I was a membership chairman. I was very proud that I almost doubled the membership during the time I was there. I'm sure that people that would see me now would tell you how I hounded them to get a new membership. I love being here. It's a great place. And I guess that's it.
Well, first off, I'd like to wish everyone a good morning that may be viewing this at some point. I feel horrible that we can't get together like we have in the past for our annual meetings. I always look forward to that, in particular, getting together with the people that are really the supporters of this fine institution, our museum here. I've been on the board. I was trying to think walking in the front door here. I think it's been about 22 years, and I've served on some other history boards. I'm on the board of directors also for the Supreme Court Historical Society, and I just spoke the other day about resigning from that position. I've enjoyed both these opportunities to serve these institutions and all their fine work they do in preserving our history. I think probably one of my most enjoyable moments was working with all the fine board members over the 22 years, and I say that sincerely. I don't ever remember any hot words exchanged between any members, and we always had fun, and I think we got a lot accomplished, and we've got a fine board that's carrying on the tradition here. I appreciate the community and all the support they've given to keep this institution going. I believe history is so important for our young people coming up, and I'd like to see this museum go on for many years to come. We've got probably one of my favorite, I don't know so much as it goes to say exhibits, but parts of the museum was our archaeological section, which is run by Jeff Summers, who attended the University of Michigan and has been with us for many years. I've always told him I want to go on a field trip, and I haven't made it yet, so maybe now in retirement I may be able to get out with him on one of these digs and explorations. But we're very fortunate to have Jeff here at the museum. So I want to thank everyone for allowing me to serve on the board. I hope we continue to see the community members down here, and I hope you continue to recruit many more members, both young and old, to help support this institution.
I'm grateful I've had the opportunity to serve over 25 years on the Castle Museum Board of Directors. I was fortunate to have some contacts at the Smithsonian and to be able to help President Kurt White in his endeavor to build our exhibit hall to meet every Smithsonian standard. Over the years, we've had many Smithsonian exhibits. As chairman of the exhibits committee, we endeavored to develop a Saginaw County local history component. The Red, Hot, and Blue Smithsonian exhibit featured songs from American songwriters for many years. Our local component was based on a book written by Dr. Grant Smith, a professor at SVSU, of the 60 Saginaw famous songwriters from 1890 to 1955. We had 3 concerts. The first covered the jazz era from 1890 to 1915. We were fortunate to get one of the world-renowned jazz piano players, Bob Mellon, to play that concert. This building and this castle generally has been a special spot, and I chose it for my retirement party held in December 2010. This statue and the castle, courthouse have a special connection for me and to her family's legal history over the years. I'm especially grateful to the past directors, our indomitable staff here at the castle, and to the voters of Saginaw County, for they have made this truly all possible.
Thank you, gentlemen. Your work has been impeccable on behalf of the board of directors here at the Historical Society of Saginaw County. These guys have been involved in so much of the success over the last 20 plus years of our existence. Everything from membership to helping get millages passed to collection committee, serving on the endowment committee, you name it, these guys were involved in just about everything. And so thank you again. 2 of them, as we mentioned, stepped down and retired in 2020, and then 2 retired in 2021. And those 2 seats that were vacated in 2020 we have filled. The other 2 seats remain open and will be filled by our current board of directors through a process that they have in the next month or so. And speaking of that or the current board of directors, I would like to introduce them at this point. You've had an opportunity to meet Chairman Brian Konechka. In addition to Brian, we have Vice Chairman Brad Jarvis, Treasurer Amy French, Secretary Tamara Carter, Robert Emmerich, Kathy Gonzalez, Cheryl Hadsel, Chip Hendrick, Larry Rodarte, Jack Taney, Ricardo Verdoni, and our 2 newest board members that joined us in 2021, Judge Elian Fickner and Delana Spates-Allen. So again, we really appreciate all the time and effort that you guys spend in helping set the policy for this organization and with your oversight. And remember that these are all volunteers, and we can't do our mission and accomplish what we do without the help of a lot of volunteers. In addition to that 15-member volunteer board, hundreds of others contribute in one way or another as volunteers each and every year. And because of that, we like to recognize 1 or more of those volunteers each year with our Volunteer of the Year Award. And because the 2021 winners spent most of their time working in the collections department, I have asked our Chief Curator, Sandy Schwan, to announce this year's award winners. Sandy?
As staff here at the Castle Museum, we have the great privilege and honor to work with an amazing team of volunteers. They graciously give of their time, talents, and friendship to all of us here at the Castle. Each year, we select 1 or 2 recipients of the Volunteer of the Year Award. These are to honor their service and commitment to the Castle Museum. And today it is my privilege to not only work with the 2 recipients, but also to present them to all of you today. The first recipient this year is Beverly Cottrell. Beverly, as we so often say, our members and volunteers are some of our best ambassadors for the museum. Beverly began volunteering with us after her friend Joyce Seneca shared with her about how much fun she was having at the Castle Museum and invited Beverly to join her. That was over 15 years ago. Beverly's primary focus has always been with our collections, even moving to the annex from the Castle Museum to work on new collection endeavors when her inventory of the library and archaeology was complete. Beverly is a key asset to the digitization of our collections into Past Perfect, our museum software database. With the exception of our staff, Beverly has been working with Past Perfect the longest. For over 10 years, Beverly has continually inputted information into our system. making our collections more readily accessible to our staff, members, visitors, and researchers. Our second recipient is Cheryl Smith. Cheryl went from being our neighbor to one of our dedicated volunteers. Shortly after retiring from the Hoyt Library branch of the Saginaw Public Library System, Cheryl was looking for a new undertaking, somewhere where she could share her skills and knowledge as well as learn something new. Over 10 years ago, she reached out to our staff to see how she might be of use to us. Cheryl was one of our early collection volunteers to take up residence at the Annex after our move from the castle. She took on the task of digitizing and cataloging into Past Perfect the bulk of our photographic collection that existed as of 2010. Once completed, she went on to inventorying portions of the Saginaw News clipping file acquired in 2011, as well as other collection-related projects. Cheryl's efforts to digitize our images enables our photographic collection to be easily accessible, and as a result, it has been greatly utilized by our staff as well as our numerous researchers. Thank you very much, both of you, and all of our volunteers for your service.
Congratulations, ladies, and thank you. So this concludes my portion of the annual meeting for 2022. And as I get ready to leave here, I just want to tell the members and the board and the staff here, thank you for your support and your belief in me and allowing me to have this mantle as leader of this fine organization. I take it very seriously, and I will continue to do the best that I can to lead us to a prosperous and successful 2022. I would encourage anybody who's watching this today, if you haven't been to the Castle Museum in a little while, please come on down. It's a wonderful, wonderful family experience, fascinating. You can spend a lot of time in here. And you know, it really tells the stories, the unique stories of the individuals that, you know, collectively make up the history of Saginaw County. And so I would at this time like to ask Chairman Brian Konechka to come forward and close out the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
This concludes this year's annual meeting. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. I'd also like to extend a special thanks to all of our members, community supporters, the talented staff here at the museum, and our dedicated board of directors. We hope to see you at the museum sometime soon. Thanks again.
To stay up to date on all the exciting things happening at the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History, be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or check out our website at www.castlemuseum.org. Thank you, Saginaw County. See you at the museum.
Hello everyone, I'm Brian Konechka. I'm the board chair of the Historical Society of Saginaw County. And I want to take a moment just to say a few words during our annual meeting. Oh shoot, no, that's stupid. Hello everyone, I'm Brian Konechka, board chair of the Historical Society of Saginaw County. Have you ever heard the phrase, been there, done that? You know, when folks reflect.
We finished 2021 fiscally sound. We were significantly over our forecasted revenue and significantly under on our forecast expenses, resulting in finishing the year in the black. I don't like any of this.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, I'm Jeffrey Pelkey. I'm the exhibits coordinator here, and I continue. Hello, I'm Jeffrey Pelkey from the Castle Museum of Saginaw County History, where I am the exhibits coordinator. This year, start right here. This year, we concentrated on improving our in-house exhibits so that we could further. This year, we focused on improving our in-house capabilities of making our exhibits more. I need to write this down.
Thanks, Tom.
Hello, I'm Christy Furtaw here at the Castle Museum. I am the education coordinator, and I already messed up, so we're gonna stop.
All right. Nope.
Hi, I'm Christy Furtaw, the education coordinator here at the Castle Museum. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, Jeff, just go ahead and edit that out.
Thank you, Wayne, for taking such great care of this magnificent gem of a magnificent gem.
Over the last couple of years, we've had several board members who have retired from the board at the Historical Society of Saginaw County. We'd like to take a moment, and you can listen to